Speech by Bruno Gröning, October the 27th, 1957. It is true that man has to stand to the truth. This is my call to all my next, that also you stand to the truth and love the good. Of course, life on earth is the most difficult life. The human is here on this earth almost like a prisoner, but nevertheless he is free, for God has given him the freedom to move freely, each person totally free. And God has lent us a fantastic body for this life on the earth. We must respect, honor, and learn to value our body. But the most important is that we acknowledge our body, that we know what to give it and what we actually offer it, that we do not shut ourselves, but open up to whom we belong, and that is and will always be God. For God has decided the power to each individual living creature. It's up to each one to be willing to take in the good. When people are plagued by evil, if a body is disturbed, this can be overcome by taking up enough power to free himself from all evil in the body. The person can be free, but he shall not try to take the good up by using his mind, but take it in as a feeling. This will not happen until the person knows himself and knows what life means, and that he must turn to whom he belongs. But you must not believe that God belongs to you. No, we belong to God, and that is a huge difference. To believe that God belongs to human is to rise above and place humans in a place and in a belief that do not belong to the good, do not belong to God. He who exalts himself is humiliated. He who lives in an imagination, building air castles, he has nothing. Humans are obliged to look after their own health. They must restrain from all the time to take in thoughts that may come from the evil source, for those thoughts will lead to evil. Humans must not all the time listen to others. It's important for people to listen to God, but how? That is the big question. Here everyone stands in front of a riddle. When a person instinctively, from a feeling or by a sudden thought, immediately feels this is good, follows up and acts, then he will achieve, because he really acted upon it. Because to act and to want to act are two different things. The will we have to expect the good, that same divine will, we have to take in the divine and to act by really doing it. Often people have told me, it suddenly came over me, I got the thought, I'll do that. And it led to healing. I think about it often. I am thinking of a girl who was not yet 20 years old at that time. She was completely paralyzed for more than 10 years. She had not been able to move any of her limbs in her lower body. The parents were very vicious. Then one day I received a letter, among the many thousands, or should I say many millions of letters. Suddenly I got this letter in my hand. It was in Hereford. The parents wrote to Gröning, and they also wrote a second letter, which I also took out of this overflow, to a woman who belonged to my circle at the time, to whom I now have to pay many thousands of marks. This woman had at the time been offered that she could have all the furniture she wanted immediately, that is, a complete set of furniture, and she would get much more if she made it possible for Gröning to come to their daughter. It took me years, but I can remember very clearly that I then had these two letters in my hand, and said to some friends that I would meet this child once, twice, even 3 times in this life on earth, and then no more. And so it became possible, even after years, when I was already detached from the surroundings of my time in Hereford. I met the girl. Now, my dear friends, what I told the parents I do not want to say here today. But if I make it short, I said nothing more than the truth. But it was so apt for the parents, because they had behaved not only horribly, but so devilishly, satanically, by harming their own child, by telling her, "Get out, we don't need you here." They wanted to cover up everything from me. They didn't say anything, nor did the daughter, but I got to know all this when I visited their flat. They have a big furniture factory, a big furniture business. And then I said it right to the parents' faces. I first have to solve what has to be solved here, what led to the evil here in your child. The evil originated from the parents, and they were willing to give everything for either the child to be cured, or they wanted to throw her out someplace in an asylum. Of course, this was spot on for the parents who were trying to ensnare me there. What I told them here in regards to the truth they admitted, but I still wanted to make up for this with the furniture they had. I could pick and choose what I wanted. I couldn't say much. I just said, "Go where you belong, where you have acted on behalf of Satan." I had a closer conversation with a girl. I have actually been there 3 times. The second time I was there, I said, "You'll be surprised. A person will come to you. He doesn't know himself why he is coming, and don't ask me now who he is. I'll tell you one thing right away. He has kindness in him, and he has learned something from you. Not just because you are young and pretty, no, or not just because you are sick. He just gets the hunch, and he will appear here as ordered. I do not know him personally, in the way you understand personally, but he will appear here, and be kind, be nice to him. He does not demand anything from you. He'll visit you often, and I will be back. And when I came the 3rd time, I didn't need to say much to this girl. I just gave her a big photo of me, that is this size, and I said, "So, my dear child, this is how I will remain here, and this is how I know that you will not forget what you now owe yourself. I can't help it if I now tell you that you are going to marry this person." Not one thought had ever occurred to either of them about a love affair. No, that was not the case, and the girl was astonished by this. I did not meet this young man. I simply said, I will stay here like this, and you will soon have achieved what will lead you to that which is truly good, so that you will be free of the misery caused by your parents, who are under the spell of evil, who live here on Satan's behalf, and who did what led to your misfortune, to the depletion of your body. Yes, and so we said goodbye. I asked her to come and see us, to pay me a visit, which she promised me with a firm handshake. I just made a slight remark, I believe, but not in this. Why? Because that will never be the case. I simply knew it. And what happened? This girl had the picture framed and hung it on her bed. One day she had the idea, take it out. She takes out the picture and lays it on her back, stretches her body long in bed, and in a very short time she feels that life has entered her body again. She was able to get out of bed shortly after. She could stand on her own 2 feet. She could move her body. She was free. And as I later learned, she did indeed marry this good person, who didn't know at that time why he sought her out. They are a happy, healthy couple now. That's all I've learned, but I think what I've learned here is enough. One cannot expect people to fall around one's neck in gratitude, and I do not think that you expect it either. The payment you get from God. I expect no payment here on earth. I only do what I can in order to lead humans back to the one they all belong. I do my mission. I know why I am here, and I have to follow the one that everyone must follow. God sent you too here, but you didn't know it. You thought, like so many others, that you should organize your life in the same way as everyone else. There must be order. Man has listened to others and lived in the belief that he has to follow others, that he has to follow his parents, whether they are right or not. Who gives a person the right to tyrannize a new world citizen by ordering to do this or that? Man shall have the opportunity to live in divine order, and if he does so and not follow others, he can lead others. But most people are so deluded of others that today they know neither in nor out. And therefore, because humans do not understand the difference, the following happens. If a long time have passed, he can only determine that the body does not obey him. It's become weak and without energy, doesn't know what to do, and because he is detached from divine guidance, he doesn't know what to do. So he goes to others who tell him they have heard about various things, about this and that. Try this, and if it doesn't work, try that. This is the proof that man has redeemed himself from the divine hand and cannot be led, because he is much too curious about all the humanly and listen only to humans. We have a saying, one cannot dance in 2 parties. Just listen to a few persons, like Albert Schweitzer, who moves abroad in order to find back to nature, and how he absorbed the teachings, how he received so many inspirations that really was guidings from God. He simply does what all people should do. I've tried to meet him, but have not succeeded yet. If I will, neither you nor me need to think about. If you really stand in divine guidance, then God will lead the one to the other, but no one has a right to demand. Do not look for a person's height, the dress, his occupation or his belongings. Look into his heart. Do you feel that he is good or not? Be more aware of your body. Follow the feeling that God has given us in our body, then you will understand others. Judging his next is something he does who cannot evaluate. Again, I must say how long it takes here on earth for people to understand the right and to take back what belongs to them and is destined for them. You cannot know others before you know yourself. If you continue to listen to others and follow that because you don't know anything else, then you are caught in evil. When you were an infant, no one needed to tell you what you needed, that you needed food. You didn't know it was your mother, but you knew why you had a mouth. Think about that. No one told you anything. That is the most beautiful proof that man has gotten everything from God. If you always were like that, and simply did what you had to do, take care of your body, fantastic. Many of our fellow men do it, but please, not like the big guys, so-called, who tell others all the time what they should do. I cannot talk about my body, I have to talk about your. That is what it is about here. It's great, is it not, that you found this group of friends and you have been able to feel the power on your body. You believed, and now order will reign. You will get order in your body because it needed power and strength. You do not yet know how much power you need for one day. Each thought you take in demands energy. You need a lot of energy in order to take in one single thought. Let me for a moment compare you to a radio. It runs on 220 voltage. Therefore you need that voltage in order to take in the wireless wave from this technical wonder which is able to transfer the radio wave. There are some wires on the sender and also some on the receiver, and no matter distance, you are able to hear the broadcast wave via the loudspeaker on your radio. Think about how it is possible. Compare yourself with this and learn. Be what you really are, not a technical wonder, but a divine wonder. First and foremost, man can take up God's power, and God broadcasts on a special wavelength on which you have to tune yourself in on. Another comparison. If you want to listen to a program from America on your radio, this will not be possible. First it has to be received by a German broadcaster and be sent on to your radio. Just a few persons in the world own an aperture which is able to register all wavelengths. That has a certain amplifier. In your home you do not have that. Programs from a channel in, for instance, America, you can listen to via the German broadcaster. In the same way, the distance from God to a human is very long. you do not yet hold energies enabling you to receive power directly from God, because you have not utilized your body and not realized that you have the required power to do so. That's why I'm here, to encourage you to receive the power directly. As of today, this sending is conveyed to you. Here between I stand, I am the earth sender, who has nothing else to do than to receive the power and forward it in the same way. And you cannot receive anything else. The way that you have tuned in on this wave is the way you take it in. You will not be disappointed. You just don't know that the wave was recorded here. When I speak, the sound is recorded to this tape recorder here. And as truthful as I speak here, just as truthful is this technical wonder. It absorbs it and gives it back to us again. It cannot be falsified, and we want a clean, clear sending and reception, and that requires calm and peace. I make the connection for you, and you receive directly. However, before that can happen, you need to be energized. You need enough energy to do it yourself. You can make the connection via the earth sender. I am here to enable you to later do it yourself. What happens here can also happen through you. There will not be hundreds or thousands of senders. God does not need that many senders. Here and there it can be one who conveys easier. Here is an example. If one has a weak radio receiver, one cannot receive a sending from Hamburg, and the same a weak receiver in Hamburg cannot receive from here. The unit is too weak, does not pull enough, has not enough strength. If you install an amplifier, then it will work. But we do not need to install an amplifier in the body. We already have one. You didn't know that. I think that I, with this parable, have made it easier for you to understand how this is possible. Not all of them can be exchanged, filled up, so that they also become senders as well. I need not prove this, for the proofs are in everything I do. I myself think that it is unnecessary for me to address this with the authorities. But I have to do something, for you cannot help in that regard. You do not have it in you yet. So I have to do it for you first. I told the truth to the friends. They took it in as the truth. They felt the truth on their bodies and said afterwards, "It's fantastic feeling." Even today I could list up many persons who have gotten order back in their body. I know that people think I have to be present in person. It is not like that. Look inside you, follow God, and then you will succeed too. Learn from this. People have experienced salvation. They had an earth sender and succeeded. Again, I must say, since we have Mrs. Thompson here, she is not God, the Lord, me neither, only divine. But she followed and did what every person should. That's how the success came about. That's how people have experienced salvation. There was a small between sender. Mrs. Thompson took in the good and wanted to give it to others. I wish for the good for him. I think he wants it. He just can't believe, so then I will believe for him until he believes himself. People said a miracle has happened. Of course, humans are being guided. They have to be guided back to the good, to God, to whom they all belong. And that's the task here, not just mine, a task for every person if he greets the good, if he wants it. I'm pleased to say today that I'm not alone. Mrs. Thompson has led many to salvation. No one can deny it, and it is not being denied. But when I was a new inhabitant on this earth, I felt that everything was terrible. I did not want to live here. I said, God, why did you send me here? I don't want to live here. Here I only feel evil. It can't be like this. I don't want to be here. Of course, I was not surrounded by people. As soon as I could stand on my 2 legs and walk, I went into the wood nearby, where I could be alone, free from people. I did not want to live here, I said. No, it can't be like this. I got an answer, a good answer, and I said, I didn't know that. I hear today the same from my fellow humans if they learn the truth. I didn't know that, they say. Yes, to begin with, I did not know. I said how terrible it was, so much evil in human beings, so much good in the animals. In plants there are the true divine that we can enjoy. But after this I did not talk against it anymore. From then on I knew why I was here. From then on I knew my task. I'm not here in service for humans. I'm only in the service of God, nothing else. And I only do what I have to do here. Although people not quite understand, it does no harm. All this you have to take upon you. This is the best sign that people have been on earth for a long time. Proof? Their body, how old it is, how they talk about themselves and about their bodies, and they have not learned anything, but are falling deeper down into the evil, more and more engaged in evil. Yes, friends, if this is to continue. They had left God, and they felt abandoned by God. But now you are called back. Now you shall walk the path that is for all of you, not my path, God's path. How many times have I told you that I do not listen to people? I'm not a troublemaker, I'm a peacemaker. Disbelief can arise because people do not understand me. That I understand. The same happens when people do not like the truth and not yet can recognize what truth is. But in truth, you are here on this earth and you can decide over your body. In truth is everything that God has decided for you, here for you. All we have to do is to take it into our body. When you have peace and calm inside you, you can pass it on to others. Of course, it must be real peace, not just to have peace with your neighbor, not just to be pleased with yourself, but not quite pleased with others. No, you must carry the heavenly peace in order to pass this on. And man must be called to order, so that he knows what order is. Unorder that he has enough of inside his own body. If someone believes that I know a lot. I say no. I only know that which human beings cannot know today. I know nothing else. But you thought it had to be the way you demanded to be. So I have to give it to you in the same way as you understand other things in the earthly life. Like when you want a glass of water, then you expect the host to give it to you. He can't do it right away. He doesn't have it here. He says, a moment. He has to get it first. He does not send his guest to the well or to a closet where he keeps his water bottles. He serves him, for he is his guest. That is how God serves us too. God is our host. We must take that in. Human beings demanded the impossible. He demanded others to give him what he wanted or needed right away. And if they did not do that, they were no good. Then he does not believe in them. Then he believes they are no good. Then he believes they have no good hearts. Why? Because he was attuned to what people had influenced him through a long life. He lived in the belief that it must be like that, so he demands. In the earthly world, he knows that the host must give it to him first. If I will give my body what it needs, I can do so because I have this body. I must act. I must absorb this in me. I must want it. If I shut my mouth, it's not possible. If I do not place the glass to my mouth, it's not possible. I cannot demand. I can have everything myself. Try to demand the glass to jump over to you. You think it's possible? Even if spirit rules the materia, it's only so far as it has created it, formed it, and given it to this vessel, its destiny, because human hands created it. We know the destiny of man, to which man created this and that, for spirit rules the materia. Why do you not know what God created? Why do you not believe that God created you? Why do you not believe that you are allowed to be a guest on this earth? Why not? Why do you not believe that He gives you everything you need in order to free yourself from this earthly life, meaning bring you back to God? Why do you not believe that you can wander from this world into the beyond? Do not believe in others. Do not believe in Gröning. Gröning is only this body. But believe in yourself. If you can believe in yourself again, then you will also be able to believe in your next. But have faith. Experience salvation in your body and believe that you also can help others to salvation. Believe it. Have faith. I know you cannot help Gröning. I do not listen to you, because what you have, when I take it, I feel all of it. I take away all your worries and all grief. You have not noticed it yet. But something happened, and you said, I'm never hungry when I'm with you. I do not get tired. Nothing bothers me. I'm fine. And after 2 to 3 days, there is a revolution in my body that I never thought possible. I received the power without knowing it. The power worked in me and led to order, real order. My body has now experienced salvation. Fantastic. I think about the fact that you eat so often when it is time for food. You say to yourself, it's time to eat now. Now I have to stop work, for now it's time to eat. I never take in that thought at all. The body doesn't need so much. When a unit is created for 220 voltage, the radio, the vacuum cleaner, the tape recorder, whatever, if the unit is given more than it is constructed for, it will burn. The same happens to you if you take in more than you need. It demands more and more. Do you not think that's good? You know that if you eat too much, your stomach becomes corked. Therefore you should learn from the earth. That is life. That is real lessons. That is the important thing. If you have experienced healing, partly or totally, think about it. It's all in your hands. You can have it all. You can also get rid of it. You can lose all the good if you take up just one evil thought. Then you have no connection. Then you have lost all the good and divine. And then it's drained out of the body. It doesn't stay. For you to decide over your body, you do decide over your body. In this moment you take in evil, and you will feel it when the body no longer obeys you. You do not master your body. First, someone has to come and put your hand on you. You must be close, very close, so the stream, the life stream, which actually can be called a healing stream because it heals, can be absorbed by you. People have experienced this. You've met a person who had a calming effect on you, who said, "It will pass, it will be good." He believes it, and when he removes his hand, you want him to put it back on, for it is soothing. So he does. Friends, I do not need to touch a body, that you know. You have experienced such things, but have put it aside again. But it is a truth. Things like this, a mother does, and a husband does when he says, "It will be good again. I think it will pass. Everything will be good." And Mom says, "Dad says it will be good again, and he's a sensible, strong man, and what he says is true. I have experienced that." And Mom actually does get well again. I look back on my youth when I did not listen to my parents. I did not do what was demanded of me. It was difficult, it was hard. My parents did not understand, but I was patient. I knew when my mother, my earthly mother, would leave her body. She told me shortly before that I had to prepare everything for my birthday. But I said to my siblings, half an hour before, she will leave her body. She made sure of the guests. Months earlier she had come to recognition. She said, "I had no idea I had such a child who knows what we people do not know. My dear boy, my dear child, Brunchen, do not be angry with me." I said, "I have never been angry." The same words were those of my father, of my earthly as of the heavenly. I do not get angry. I do not take in evil. But to bring the truth to humans, that is not easy, for they do not listen to God. They listen only to people. I think you know now your task, and why I in this earth life was to blow life into this work. When I was 2 years of age, I said, "I'm so alone here. I don't want to be here. I do not find one person who has the good in him. I want to get away from here as soon as possible." I had to walk very far until I found real friends who greet the good, want it, and follow it. It is not my duty to convince you. You have a duty to convince yourself about what you really are. You thought that I had a duty to do so. No, it's your duty. Now, dear friends, as our work has grown this much, we are not yet very many, that's okay. The friends shall be considered worthy member of the Federation, that they finance us here so that we can do this in order to free ourselves from all evil, that we have the way free, because here we have to deal with money to pay for mammon. That is what this is about. Now I will not speak too much. I will now play a tape from the friend Weber, and after that we can socialize and have a good time. I will only say the important once more. I believe that you now know what your task in this work that you support is, and that you sincerely take the good in you as much as possible, so that you have a surplus in you and can help others. Come, I help you on the way until you have a solid ground under your feet, so that you can move yourself alone. Live well, dear friends. It is our duty to help. The payment you will get in heaven. Not Gröning, first of all, love yourself, and then your next, for the sake of God.